Alrighty. Unless my eyes deceive me, everything should be working smoothly, but it never hurts to check. Because this darn internet of mine has always liked to bamboozle me. I am bamboozled. So bamboozled. Oh, looks like it's working. Excellent.
Alrighty.
And of course, the phone goes off right
there. Everything should be working smoothly,
but it never hurts to check. And is there an echo in here? All right, there we go. Silence intruder. All right, sorry, just listening for a voicemail. Never know. Should have unplugged that phone. Oh well. So how's everyone doing after such a week? Such a very long and uncertain week. But here we are, finally, at a weekend. And another chance to do an art stream. So I appreciate y'all coming out to see me. And I have some shout outs to give to returning folks and good friends in the chat. Komotra Steele is here, as is Mad Munchkin and the voice of reason, my friend Trinary, Preston Cox. Let's see here. Battlecross, good to see you again. CT Stormwing, recently graduated of high school. Congratulations. I see Phoenix Fire. And let's see here. And then Norma Ruiz Galladro. Hopefully I said that right this time. And let's see here. And, well, there's a bunch of other people. I'm sorry I can't list everyone. But, man, I gotta confess I am somewhat running on fumes. It's been, like I say, a heck of a time. But here we are. We made it. And I hope you're all doing well. Maybe not feeling at 100%, but on the road to recovery. As am I. And as part of that, well, a little drawing helps get me back in action. So, and of course, answering questions. So first things first, a little bit of music to go with the evening. Now, I'm going to be answering questions from the chat. Oh, yes, I forgot to give a shout out to both Helsing Ghost and Clay Pigeon over on Twitch. Thank you both for tuning in. Oh, Gallardo, I was so close, but so far. So very far. All right, well, we keep trying. But I always appreciate the phonetic explanations. Oh, and Gosha Lion is here. Welcome. Good to see you. So, all right. I would like to answer folks' questions in the chat, but before I do, I actually have a comment to read that recently popped up and I thought, hey, this might be worth talking about in the chat or in the stream. So, pardon me as I do a bit of reading. Hey, Silver-Quill. I don't know if you respond to comments, but there's been something on my mind for a long time. You seem to be incredibly fixated on morals in anything My Little Pony related. Even on AC Race Best Pony Life React, you were talking about them. Why is this? Can an episode of a cartoon not be just that? A standalone episode with the sole purpose of entertainment? Considering that the main series of Friendship is Magic is well over 200 entries, how do you expect them to come up with a moral for every single one of them? And especially Pony Life, which is very obviously catering to an even younger audience than regular My Little Pony. Why should those episodes have a moral when such a thing is never even established? This is a little bit irritating, and I think it heavily affects your opinion and views on episodes. Now, the reason I highlight this in a chat is because there's a lot to cover in just that round of questions. So, first off, I do want to dispel Pony Life, which is what we got to see a reaction to from many bronies on AC Race Best's on his channel last weekend. But a lot of folks raised issue with the moral, with the story. I think it was Little Shy who pointed out that Twilight basically wanted Pinkie to just learn to clean up after herself, to basically practice some good hygiene, and Twilight's not in the wrong for trying to encourage that. So there is that aspect. And you know what? That's not even from a moral standpoint. That is a sanitary standpoint. But let's say that, yes, I do put a lot of investment into a moral, a story, a parable. And why is that? Because, honestly, I believe that all stories convey this. They convey some manner of value or insight. Even the ones that fall flat, they're trying to. I don't really know of any story that successfully said nothing and was worth remembering. That may be the one qualifier. Basically, every story is of connection with people. A connection to express a part of ourselves, to see maybe ourselves in the characters. And so a moral, as we are people who look to establish morals, morals are built upon interaction. A story is itself interaction. Just recently this week, I was watching a video, one of Jordan Peterson's classes, where he said, do you think you're not going to church when you go to see Star Wars? That you're not experiencing something more than just a story? Let's see, actually, I want Soren to be confused here. And while I may not agree with the exact terminology, I don't know, I feel like saying you're in church is trying to force people into one perspective. You are, nevertheless, connecting with something much bigger than just a momentary distraction. And I think that's worth acknowledging. So, I do think that morals are a part of even our comedies. Now, that's not to say I don't think that you can just turn your brain off and enjoy something silly for the fun of it. For this Halloween, I watched The Young Ones, a British comedy about 4 of the most disgusting and miserable college students you could ever imagine. But they're so entertaining to watch. And yet, I think if you wanted to talk about their outlooks, their philosophies, and how they self-sabotage, you could. Even though, when I watch it, I just have a giggle at how ridiculous they're acting. Ooh, wow, I think I overdid that. Soren looks way too tired. So, right off the bat, you can just enjoy it for what it is. But here's the other part of it. You're asking me to react to this and to share my thoughts. Why would I do myself a disservice of turning my brain off when I'm being asked to engage? If anything, I feel like if I didn't do so, I'd be lying to people. I'd be hiding myself. Oh, Maddie has lost connection, but she came back? Good. Welcome back. Let's see here. But then there's also the question of, is entertainment and morals mutually exclusive? Can you not enjoy something and question the morals? Which is pretty much my reaction to the first episode of Pony Life. I didn't go for the moral of, be yourself or I gotta be me. But I did have fun watching it. Absurdities and weirdness aside, I still recognize the characters. But I really do think that stories are a means of helping us learn about ourselves and helping us evolve. In fact, when a person's entertained, that is probably one of the best times to convey a moral or an idea, because defenses are down, you have their full engagement. It's probably one of the best times to connect with a person on a very human level. And so entertainment has this great ability. There's this book on writing where the author states that many of the institutions in which we placed our beliefs have let us down. There's been corruption or a loss of focus. It's very easy to feel cynical towards institutions. But stories are still a valid means of connection. And as such, perhaps they are the last bastion where you can really connect with people in an almost incorruptible way. So it all flows together, in my eyes. Yes, you can enjoy it just because it's silly, but at the same time, I think you can also see something more in it, and in doing so, perhaps better define your own views. So, the short answer, too late, is that I'm not going to stop looking for the morals or commenting. Oh, there was also the question, after 200 episodes of Friendship is Magic, how can they still be expected to produce morals? Well, one, Pony Life is not Friendship is Magic. And I think that's important. That's an unfair comparison. But I don't believe you can ever run out of things to say to connect with people. And many times, Friendship is Magic revisited an idea and with the different packaging. You know, don't get swept up in competition. That's Fall Weather Friends and A Trivial Matter. Beware the Lie. And let's see here. I know that was Honest Apple. And, well, no, Honest Apple was more bluntness. No, it was When the Apple Lies. And I believe there's some Cutie Mark Crusaders where the lie just kept building. If nothing else, in the Cutie Pox, Apple Bloom had to own up to her and be honest. See, it takes different forms. Excellent. Oh, now Enderpup, I gotta call you out here, saying Karens are bad. I will have you know that when I was in a traffic accident several months ago, the person who helped me out, who offered her phone number as a witness and made sure everyone was okay, and they called the police as I was very dazed for a moment, her name was Karen. So I can never hear that name and associate something negative with it now. Oh dear. So that was a somewhat rambling answer to what I think was a very good question, but ultimately my answer is no. I'm not going to stop looking at morals, even as something that's meant to be lighthearted entertainment. In fact, to say that you're supposed to turn your brain off in order to enjoy it, that sounds like you're actually condemning the show. Because you're saying it can't work if you think. And I think Pony Life does work if you think. You just have to really be willing to give it a chance. Oh, Nikki W., you're not with anyone this time? I had a guest sign in mind, but unfortunately our schedules didn't sync. Next week, Concert Cruiser will be with me, and we'll be doing a live stream and back to Patreon support then. And forgive me, everyone, I hear this music coming on. I recognize this theme from the YouTube library. It's what Neebs Gaming plays at the end of their Among Us Let's Plays, where they animate the confrontations or the accusation meetings. So even just hearing this music makes me happy. All right, now let's see here. All right, now I got to change things up a little for everybody. Also, it's just really energetic. And I likes me some energetic music, especially after a long week. A week where I feel like I've been holding my breath, and today was the exhale. Alrighty. But I've been neglecting questions from the immediate chat. Drinking Buddy, oh, good to see you. And yes, Cider Fest today. I'll try it, Harry. Always spoil me. Let's see here. The Analyst 2000 just asking how my day's been, which is very much appreciated. It's surprising. People don't often open with that, but I think it's a very effective way of starting things with folks. So my day has been good, but like I say, I held breath for the better part of a week. And now I know that we're not at the end of any of this. We're entering another phase, but sometimes it's just acknowledging this is a new phase that makes all the difference. Come what may, at least I know at least one outcome. Let's see here. What other villains do I know aside from Frollo, Jafar, and Scar? Oh, let's see. There's Maleficent, Cruella de Vil. Oh gosh, who was the fellow in Atlantis Lost Empire? The commander who was, of course, the hidden villain, which has become... that was one of the first Disney hidden villains as far as I remember. Oh. Let's see here. What other Disney villains do I remember? There was the Rescuers, the lady who kidnapped a girl. There was the Hunter and the Rescuers Down Under. There was the voodoo priest, Shadow Man, was it? In Princess and the Frog? You know, it's funny. I'm remembering the villains' roles and their descriptives more than I'm remembering names. Ah. All right, let's see here. So, I remember a lot of Disney villains, but goodness knows I seem to have trouble expressing their names. Alrighty. So, let's see here. Now, let's see here. Norma asks, this may be a bit predictable. Well, that's because it's a question on many people's minds. How are you feeling about the presidential elections? Does it weigh on you, or do you try to look at on the bright side? Well, the answer is yes to both. It weighs on me because this is hard to express. I watched all this happening, and I realized that there was a very real disconnect between me and a good chunk of the nation. And there are groups where I'd like to try and understand this difference, and there are others where I have no desire. If your election choices were based on hatred for another person, discrimination against another people, group, or belief system, if you were basically celebrating cruelty, I don't want to know your line of thought. I'm not the person you need to be worrying about, or I certainly don't want to be dealing with that individual. But there are people, I think, who voted because they genuinely thought it was the best choice. And those are the people, I may not agree with their choice, but I'd like to know why. And maybe through that understanding, figure out, is there a compromise? Because those are the people you can reach. The folks who have closed themselves off to other people, who are just so dead set and very hateful. Why invest the time in that? There was actually a quote I read in an article, and I know we're supposed to reach across the aisle, but I feel like this is sticking your hand in a fan blade. There was a lot of truth in that. I'd rather reach out to the people who I feel can be reached and actually could share their thoughts, versus the people who aren't even really contributing to self-reflection. Oh, Mustafa So, I understand you got to go, but I hope you're doing well. Let's see here. So, but I do. Here's the thing. I know that that today's the ultimate decision in the election is still a long ways off. We may not get anything official until tomorrow, and then there will be challenges. I have no doubt. But I look at the fact that there's been this one election, it was hard to go through an entire week of just wondering, when are they going to announce things? But I'd rather that folks take their time and be thorough and have a record which we can consult. You know, if fairness or legitimacy is called into play, better to have your record set for that. So hard, but I understand. And I do see the bright side in what I hope will be a positive turn. But here's the strange thing. The next president, I hope it's a very boring presidency, because boring means that things are peaceful. We're in trouble when a president's term is exciting, because there's probably a lot of things happening. That's why there's that old curse, may you live in interesting times. Well, I've had enough of interesting times for this year, thank you. I'd rather just have something quiet. Alan's saying maybe Monday for total results. You know, okay, I hung in there since Tuesday. I can hang in a bit longer, especially if there's something fun to do, like Cider Fest. Okay. MC asking if we could not talk about the election as we want to get away with it. A fair request is I too need a break, but I've gotten to say my piece, so I think that's good for all. Oh, and Maddie's heading to bed, which is smart. Don't make me tell the sweetie bloom on you. So get some sleep, Maddie, and have a good night. Well, man, how's this for a look? I don't even know what that expression says. That's one of the interesting things in doing these vectors. I end up creating whole expressions. I'm like, what does that even mean? Here we go. So now Coco and Soren are talking. Now I need to get Pinkie on the other side of things. Again, life is more fun with sound effects. Alrighty. Let's see here. Going back through. Oh, Allie Penner, what are your thoughts on spicy food? While drinking buddy runs and hides at the mention of Sweetie Bloom. Here's the thing about me. I have a very underdeveloped palate when it comes to spicy food. My family was never big on spice. We joke that ketchup is a spice to them. Which I'm sure many people are like, he's talking crazy talk. But I find just the right amount of spice, like the burrito I had for lunch today, is welcome. It adds a certain vitality and a lingering taste. It's when it overpowers you and you can't taste anything else. Like, okay, too much of a good thing. Too much. Champ to stay wondering if I found a theme song yet. You know, I lost my focus on that for a while. I had some good propositions from folks, but I kept listening and I thought, you know, I'd like something with a bit more variety, and I realized I wanted it to match an intro in my head. So I need to follow up with a musician I met at a convention and share with him sort of a storyboard of what I want to do and see if he can concoct something. He went by the name Cyril the Wolf, and he's a very talented musician. So, and he expressed an interest. I don't know if that interest would still exist, but we'll try. Let's see here. Helsing goes, you can't hide from Sweetie, and Drinking Buddy be all like, I can try. You aim for that. Aim high by staying low. The weirdest ship I've ever seen, asked Champs to say. That would be in China Melville's book. Oh, but gosh, what was it called? Leviathan or Kraken? It's a steampunk set in a fantasy world where a guy is in a relationship with an actual insectoid. Human-sized, she is fully sentient and has her own personality, but he admits that they're both into each other because they are both, deviant, let's just say. So I read that, I was like, okay. This was well before I'd ever really even heard of furries. Well, maybe not well before, but certainly when they were much less mainstream. Would I break a pinky promise, Preston? That depends on the promise. I feel like sometimes one has to break a promise to prevent something worse. But at the same time, it's not something you do casually, especially when I've seen Pinkie Pie's rage. But the thing is, I believe that Pinkie is a kind enough pony that she would understand breaking a promise, even if she was a bit huffy about it. It's more if I tried to duck out, as Applejack did in the last roundup, that she would be more than a little cheesed. Oh, well, there's a ship right there. Light and Dash. No, I don't have TikTok. I confess, I am still trailing well behind in the social media scene. I was born, I think, at just that tipping point generation where the internet was not as mainstream. It's not a given in your life. But I'm able to at least adapt gradually, whereas folks who are older than me have had more trouble, and folks younger than me, they're able to adapt to it like fish to water. In fact, you use the internet. I was born in it. Well done trying to eat an alarm clock. Anthony C. Oh, it's good to see you. I am here by my lonesome, but that's okay. I'm just chipping away at projects. Working as best I'm able. Because, to be honest, sometimes a week is just overwhelming. Even without the big event this week, it's been a hard one. Oh, Buddy Dragon Wolf, thank you for the donation, and good to see you. So, Stoical, you're over on Twitch. I believe you're on Twitch? Yes, you must be on Twitch. That's where the donation jar is. But I remember you subscribed only, 2 weeks ago? Much appreciated. Let's see here. Let's see. Komodo Steel wondering about Flurry Heart in the Crystal Empire. Does she have big shoes to fill? Well, here's the thing. I genuinely think that Flurry should not try to outdo Spike's legend. I mean, Spike, I think, can't live up to his own legend at this point. And she shouldn't have to. Flurry Heart should just focus on being Flurry Heart, whatever that may be. I mean, we know her as a baby. There's not a whole lot you can say about her personality just yet, other than she seems very high energy and eager to emulate. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. She's eager to emulate what she sees, as we saw in A Flurry of Emotions, which I argue would be her best episode. Mostly because she fractured some awareness. Let's see, forever. But when you try to live up to someone else's example, you're always going to be judging yourself and never give yourself permission to just be yourself. And I don't think that would do Flurry any good. Though, that would be a good lesson for her to learn. I'm borrowing this hoof. Yes, the... Hello, Enderpup. I see you saying, hey, listen, hey, listen. Sorry, that's a running joke with my friends, offline world. Basically, if I say, if I quote Navi even once, my friend just goes on tangent and his wife, girlfriend, whatever, just gives me this death glare like, you did that on purpose. And I say, yes, if we met. Let's see here. Question came up about my leaving TF2, and really I left because it was a good time to do it. I was glad we could finish this super form arc, but really I'd gone as far as I could with that. So I don't know what's going to happen with the remainder, but it was time to go. And the reason I didn't have like a farewell episode is because I realized, man, it took us like 3 years to get this super form arc. I think I should just call it good and wish everyone well. So let's see here. Have I watched The Social Dilemma? Asks Stephen EXE Hey 333. No, The Social Dilemma. I don't think I've seen that. For a minute there, I thought you were saying The Social Network, but no. I do not know of what you speak. Is that like a documentary? Ah. Welcome, Ashmi Kotecha. Oh, sorry, Nikki W. I'm dropping a bit of a surprise. I mentioned this on Twitter, but I haven't made a big to-do out of it. I've stepped down as the Red Team Heavy. So I made a suggestion on who could take over. I don't know what's going to happen on that regard, but you know, I got to be a part of it, and now I go to see what is the next thing. My own work, other projects, evolution. Keep moving forward. It's on Netflix. Okay, Stefan. I will have to check this out. Oh dear. Netflix, man. I haven't heard much good press about Netflix lately, so if there's a good movie on there, I'd like to see it. Oh yeah, there's another Godzilla movie coming out. I think it'll be on Netflix, another animated, but mercifully not the anime Godzilla that recently had a trilogy. Oh, I checked out all 3 of those movies and ultimately was disappointed. Eater. Let's see here. Nightmare Galaxy. You notice that my work is mostly done in Adobe Illustrator. Do you have any tips for anyone that is a beginner in Illustrator? Oh. I confess, a lot of what I learned in Illustrator was by necessity. At first, I was doing everything in Photoshop. I didn't understand Illustrator. I knew Photoshop just a little bit better. That has radically changed. My advice, if you're new to Illustrator, is set a small goal. You want to accomplish one thing. Like, you want to draw the outline of this character. Okay, there you go. That prompts you to look up, how do I make a stroke? How do I draw a path? Or perhaps you want to make a gradient. Okay, then you can pursue with that goal in mind. If you go into Illustrator just saying, I want to learn Illustrator, it's going to be this wide landscape that is really intimidating to navigate and very difficult. It's funny, but I learned Illustrator in patches, in little bits and pieces that built up over time. And in truth, My Little Pony really helped spur that knowledge. In fact, it's funny. What was it? My second year of an associate's degree in graphic design. Because of working on My Little Pony, I actually knew more about Illustrator than most of my classmates. So while the teacher was helping out some students, I was helping others. And they kind of whispered to me, you know what, you're teaching this better than the class teacher is. Which I took as a great compliment. I still learned new things. I mean, it'll be a sad day if I have nothing new to learn with Illustrator. But in that instance, I was lucky to be able to know a little bit more and share it. I think my teacher was actually a little frustrated with me, though. I would finish the lesson and be working on the homework before everyone else. He's like, stop it. It's like, I can't help it. I did it already. I'm good at it. Don't be mad at me for being good at something. Oh, Trinary, you know not what you have unleashed with this question. Have I ever gotten into any collecting habits? Oh, boy howdy, have I. Actually, I should be proud of myself for not collecting every MLP bit of merchandise, but I have. I've collected a few. When I become a fan of something, I have to have something tangible, something physical. Some of the big collecting phases in my history would be Gunpla. I did those for a while. Zoids. I had almost every Zoid for a time. But then I was completely out of room and eventually gave them to Goodwill. Because someone said, oh, hey, you can sell these online. Yeah, or kids could enjoy them the way they're intended to be enjoyed. So let's see, what else have I collected over time? What else for some? It's funny, I was a fan of Digimon, but I didn't collect that much Digimon merchandise. Let's see here. Oh, I am an avid collector of Kamen Rider transformation belts, and of the Wizard series, I got figure arts, posable arts. Logan Kerr, do I have a Discord server? No, Logan, I don't, because I don't know how well I could moderate it, and I'm uncertain. People's safety online is a big concern, and I think if I couldn't offer the full attention to make sure that the interactions were safe, or that there wasn't someone lurking in the forums to prey on people, I don't think I want to give that avenue. I'd have to be sure I could actually keep an eye on things. If I can't, then I shouldn't get that started. So I don't think I'll do a Discord server. Also because I get on Discord for maybe an hour or two a week. I mean, it really depends. Usually I go on Discord when there's a purpose. Oh, Max Z07. Yes, I completely forgot. I was an avid Yu-Gi-Oh collector for a time. I bought boxes upon boxes. I think I was on too much of a spending spree with that for a time. I gave those cards to a collection store, and I hope other kids got good use out of them. Me, I never even won a tournament. I could never keep up. I'm not good at grasping the meta. Oh, and Logan, I appreciate your question. I don't mean to be seeming like I'm upset that you asked. No, I appreciate the interest, and it's a very valid question, especially in this online culture. I know a lot of YouTubers who do have their own Discord server. Would I prank Rainbow Dash? Depends on if she would know it was me. I feel like, and if she didn't know it was me, then I should have a running start, like a day's running start. Let's see here. Will the Hippogriff Ambassador be returning? You know, it's funny. That was way back before there even were hippogriffs. Maybe I should make a joke that I was just pretending the whole time and I actually got all the free food as a result. I will keep that in the back of my mind, because that sounds like it could be a fun joke. Let's see here. Champ to stay wondering, when do I start celebrating Christmas? Well, here's the thing. My birthday is at the start of December, and my family has always been very kind to not even turn on the Christmas lights until after my birthday. It's not that I don't appreciate the spirit, want people to be happy, but it's my own personal start to a new trip around the sun. So I will celebrate Christmas afterwards. There we go. Whoop. Coco being all stubborn here. Incidentally, as I'm working on this, the script for the dialogue between these characters is going on in my head. It makes it, I admit it probably looks very confusing on the outside looking in to not know what they're saying, but hopefully we'll get there before the stream is done. I would very much like to show the full process, or at least the process I haven't already completed. I'll tell you all true though, I am so happy to be doing this on a Friday rather than a Saturday. When Treehouse was airing Pony Life on Sundays, pretty much my entire Saturday was devoted to a Pinkie Pie Says Goodnight, because how complex. Having it on a Friday where I don't have the whole day actually forces me to pace things out throughout the week. So, these good things that... So, you know, it's all adapting to situation. Am I talking to myself again? Always. I do actually talk to myself sometimes. Gamotra Steel, Flash Sentry, and Twilight Sparkle, one true pairing. Or is it supposed to be OTP? I don't speak your modern hip-hop lingo, you kids. Oh, we'll see you when you get back, Lightning Dash. Okay. Let's see here. So sorry. Flash and Twilight. You know, I'm not against it if they give Flash a more of a personality. I'm afraid for a time. Okay, Flash Sentry in the Equestria Girls, he was the guy who got clumsy when he talked to girls. He didn't get a lot of screen time outside. And I feel kind of bad that he didn't have much of a presence at all after Legend of Everfree. But Pony Flash has had even less. He's not a high schooler, he is a Royal Guard. I rather like the idea of perhaps he becomes a Royal Guard captain himself in time, but he'd need a little development. And if Twilight fell for him, as Cadence fell for Shining Armor, it'd be retreading old ground, but it wouldn't be bad. You know, I always forget, Coco has such thick eyebrows. Dang. I'm gonna tone that down just a smidge. Oh, good to meet you, MaxZ07. Glad you enjoy. Let's see here. Noah Harris, your Disney MLP question. I don't know if I saw it earlier. One sec. Oh. If Mary Poppins was an MLP, who would she perform magic with? Oh, doubtless the Cutie Mark Crusaders. She's there to teach through magic, and I believe that she would still focus on the young. It's funny, but her influence on the parents, on the older folks, is usually done through seeing the after effects of her magic, after the outcome. That's why I always love that scene. First of all, I would like to make one thing quite clear. I never explain anything. Huh. Magical Dude. A while back, Firebrand thought Shining Armor was kind of pathetic. Could Shining be improved on from what we have seen? Well, you know, it's funny. I actually got to wonder about the criticism of pathetic or our judgment thereof. He is not living up to the standard of a guard. I think, as Firebrand, being from the military, really appreciates that and does not like when the Royal Guard is made so inept. Shining, we were talking about this very briefly before the stream. I do think that Shining could be the archetype of the warrior, but the show is very hesitant to show a warrior because we often associate them with violence. Why is Shining not living up to the warrior ideal? Because very often he doesn't seem willing to accept short-term struggle for a long-term result. We've seen him break down after just a few days of being a father, which at the same time I kind of empathize with. I mean, you know, you've just had a massive change to your life. It's not the same as being a soldier. Being a father is very different in some ways. But also, Shining's main reaction is to scream no and wait for someone else to fix the problem. So to say pathetic, you know, I'd really have to look up and think on what it really means to criticize something as pathetic. Is it because it's not feeling to live up to your ideal, or is it that a person is not living up to their own potential? In which case, you're really offering a judgment of what you think that person is capable. Alrighty, let's see here. Favorite collab with Dr. Wolf? Probably the Spike special, as we shared ideas for how Spike might get some respect. And also I got to animate, got fully grown Spike on a rampage once again. Granted, my animations are nowhere near anyone else's quality, especially fan animators or the show itself, but it was still fun to do. And I greatly appreciated the artwork that, who did the vector artwork for that? Starforge? But just some wonderful visuals to go along with it, which was very helpful. Ah, Sweetie Bloom in the chat. Oh, sorry, Drinking Betty. You better hide now. All right. Well, he's off to the Nightmare Night panel at Ciderfest. Ooh, someone's doing an analysis of Nightmare Night. Well, I hope it's a good time. Yep. Come on, Pinkie. Make things a little easier for me here. Boop, boop. Too thin. What is the most... Champ to stay wondering, what is the most wholesome thing I've ever seen? My goodness, what a... Well, there's been a lot of wholesome things I've gotten to see. What are some... But now you're making me think of, not just points in my life, but wholesome. Okay, of an immediate history was, a kids writing panel at BabsCon 2 years ago. Was it 2 years? No, it was last year. It was at Easter, outdoor setting, or an outdoor stand independent of the hotel. The show writers, several of them came in and they worked on a panel, and there were only like 3 kids, but they sat down with those kids and they were writing in a journal all these ideas for a story. And just seeing them all interact, the way they were so happy to engage and encourage these kids, and maybe invoke a little writing, a passion for writing. I hope the kids will carry that enjoyment forward. That was a wonderfully wholesome thing. Oh, sweetie. Let's see. Sweetie Bloom is now 2 weeks into her new position, working at an animal clinic and helping animals out even when other people fall short. So, mad props to Sweetie Bloom, showing the best in people. Let's see here. Enderpup. Well, it's true, Dr. Wolf does not like to be shipped. I've try to respect that. If someone says, please do not ship me, and they, mean it. It's not like, oh, don't ship me, I'm so embarrassed. No, it's like, I'm legitimately upset by if you do this. Then that's it. Boom. Done. Ship did. All right, let's see here. Pray pardon me, I'm just going over in my head what it is that's what needs to happen in like the next panel. Let's see here. Oh, Chris is going to be at CyderFX next year in person. I sincerely hope the convention scene comes back. Mad props to all the folks who make these online conventions happen. It's not easy. There's a lot of sleepless nights and stress involved, just like running a physical convention. I miss the human element of it, so I would very much like to see people in person again. Let's see here. Gojalion, I have not seen an Epic Contrarian's reaction to TF2. Not bad. Clay Pigeon 310. Personally, I find Shining Armor to be less pathetic and more disappointing, like the rest of Equestria's so-called defenders. For the few times we saw him against a legitimate threat, he was defeated nigh immediately to show off how imperiled the main six were. Indeed. Another question that came up before the stream was, do I have a least favorite character? Which I misread and answered Fluttershy, thinking it was favorite character. For the record, Fluttershy is my favorite pony. No, my least favorite would unfortunately be Cadence, as I've lamented before. I feel like she never really got a chance to shine and a lot of missed opportunities. Much like Shining. She's there to get in trouble so the main six can show their best saving the day. And that, I understand they're the main characters, but I also feel like the character of Cadence struggles as a result. Now, let's see here. Coco, I forget the shape of Coco's eyes when she's... Yeah, there we go. Sometimes it's just a matter of copying what I've done before and adapting. Helsing goes, you're not going to let Soren go on a date with Coco, are you? Well, I guess this is sort of an adventure, but I guess you could call it an adventurous date. Are you against... Okay, no, actually, I won't ask this question. That's putting someone on the spot. You know what? There's nothing in the show to suggest a Coco Soren ship. Sometimes it's fun just to envision your own and ask, how would these characters even meet? And why would they form a connection? That's part of the fun. And it gets the imagination going. So, I will see if the story can speak for itself. And if not, well, then I'll try again. Vulpin Gamer, I'm not aware of any MST3K projects in the works at the moment. Doesn't mean I won't do them. It's not like I've severed all ties with all the TF2 folks. But it's just, I won't be on TF2 in the same capacity. And I don't quite know what the future holds. But then, that's the theme every day, isn't it? We don't know what the future holds. We do our best to achieve something in the future and in the present. But we're never totally sure. Even the person who acts very sure of the future, I bet, is also acknowledging some doubt. Let's see here. What's sort of Trenary asking, what's movies like to watch that aren't about Technicolor ponies? Ooh, well, I've got a pretty... It often depends on on a mood I'm in. Maybe I want comedy, maybe I want adventure, maybe I want something I'm very familiar with. I often go for fantasy and science fiction. I love to see the extraordinary in action, something beyond the norm. But the best ones, the ones that I often come back to, are the ones where I feel a very human connection. Your best sci-fi is still grounded in a human element. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. What do we got? Just double checking. I'll be curious if Drinking Buddy has anything to share on the analysis. Ooh, or will the stream be saved? Let's see here. Logan Kier, do you ever think you'll do an after effect on the Assassin's Creed series? Huh. Well, here's the unfortunate thing. I haven't played I played the first Assassin's Creed for a little bit, but I couldn't really get into it. I don't think I gave myself a lot of time to do so. Offhand, if I did talk about Assassin's Creed, I just wonder about that third game and its ending, and the fact that the plot point left dangling by that ending was in fact resolved in a comic. Honestly, I think that would be an example of when multimedia is actually going too far. I rather resent when I have to read a comic or read a book in order to enjoy a movie. You're not giving me enjoyment, you're giving me a homework assignment. And even the best stories. This is why I was never really a big fan of my English classes, with some noteworthy teachers, mind you. Normally, just being forced to read a story isn't the same as getting to enjoy it. I wish fiction classes or English classes could adapt to engage more, look more at the modern context rather than have everyone reread stuff that may not connect as easily. Everyone should have a chance to read Shakespeare, but when you're forced to do it, I don't think you appreciate what he really did. All right, let's see. Yes, I'm enjoying this music too. See, I'm feeling more energized already. After a long week, this is good. This is medicine. Let's see. Uniqueness 35, fan of imagination. All right, I love your title for one thing. If you were offered to write an animate a movie sequel to the finale of Friendship is Magic that was about the characters fighting the real Grogar, how would you do it? Whoa. Fighting the real Grogar. Well, man, I guess the follow-up question to that would be, would it be a movie or a series? A series would give perhaps more time to explore how did Grogar become this force. But here's the thing. Grogar is a villain who keeps coming back in Equestria's legends. He's defeated by he's, I think, ultimately, or at least most significantly defeated by Gusty the Great. But we also know from A Flurry of Emotions that he appeared before other heroes and was defeated by them. He seems to be a recurring antagonist in Equestria's history. So, I think it would be interesting to have a character, if not Twilight, then a student of Twilight. Maybe she pulls a Celestia. Oh, here's an idea. Grogar is advancing, and he's taking out everyone. He's also been wise enough to isolate and defeat the main six, so Twilight doesn't have her usual friends. If she used a spell to send a character back through time to encounter every protagonist who's defeated Grogar and learn from them, and maybe in doing so learn from Grogar as well, learn about Grogar, that protagonist can then return to the future armed with knowledge, experience, and appreciation of not only what drove the heroes to overcome Grogar, but maybe also understanding why Grogar keeps trying to defeat them. Why he keeps trying to conquer Equestria, defeat after defeat. And maybe the answer isn't to kill Grogar, but to finally say, look, dude. Oh, no. Oh, Illustrator, did you die on me? Perhaps I asked too much of the poor thing. Okay, let's see if the recovery... How far did we get? Ah, dang, it didn't recover as much as I'd hoped. Well, sometimes you just gotta take your lumps with that. Also, it's a lesson to myself to save early, save often. But I really don't want to make you all sit through the same things as I was drawing. Double dang. Shame on me for not hitting the save button more often. Okay, well, what shall I do? I shall... Oh. Reopen? I gotta say, for something that's saying it was recovering, it didn't really recover that much. Ah, well. This happens, especially with vectoring. Preston, I'm not gonna talk about breaking into someone's room. That's not an appropriate question. All right, let's just... You gotta keep going, even when things get rough. So I'll keep drawing as if nothing crashed, and then I'll double back and fix things up. That's just the way it goes sometimes. If someone messed with me for liking MLP, how would I handle it? Well, that is a hard question because it sort of depends on who is doing the messing. If it's a coworker, you know, someone I will see every day, I will laugh at it and probably laugh about it, rib them back. Actually, my coworkers do know that I watch MLP, that I do these YouTube videos. They've actually expressed great enjoyment about it. They're excited by it, for which I very much appreciate. So, but let's say it's some random person who's just giving me grief. Then I'll just say, okay, bye. I mean, if someone is that desperate for attention that they're trying to start a fight just so I'll respond, honestly, the greatest insult I can offer is to not acknowledge them, to just say, oh, moving on. In fact, probably not even say anything. There are reasons why mute buttons exist, and they are magnificent donations to the internet. If I were to give my persona even a prosthetic limb, Champ to Stay wonders, what would it be? You know, man, we've seen prosthetic wings. And in some ways, I always wonder about, there are people who work with very real prosthetics. And so I really wouldn't want to do that casually or make light of it, especially as Silver-Quill is meant to be comedic often. If I were to give a prosthetic appendage, it would be a prosthetic tail, and I would really trick it out with like laser guidance and Wi-Fi and maybe a blender. Because it's just a tail. It's not even... well, even that might dance the line. I'd have to really think about that. But it would be something over the top like that. Anti-DC wants to make a video responding mailbag. And, you know, well, that's the thing. You do it in a very fun way. And a lot of the people are sharing their thoughts. They may be standing up for what they like and maybe with a bit too much gusto, but there's not a lot of hatred involved in that. They're doing it from a place of something they love. A person who makes fun of MLP just so they can get a rise out of you isn't doing anything from a place of enjoyment other than a very sociopathic, here's a complete stranger I'll never meet, how can I use them? So that's the kind of person you never want to really engage with. All right, and save, because I'm not losing what I got so far. Would I troll Flim and Flam? Ah, sure. But then I'd have to know what really irks them. So far, the thing they love most is money. And honestly, as someone who's had their bank account hacked in the past, I don't think I'd have the heart in me to do that even to someone that miserable. No, to troll them, I bet I would try to make it look like a bunch of laws have been passed that just duets are outlawed in Equestria. Of course, that would probably upset more than the Flim Flam brothers. That's Rap Studios. I need clarification on your question. What would you say to a villain who is just plain bad? Now, when you say, does that mean that they're just not an entertaining villain, or that they themselves are pure evil? Because that's important. Let's see. So I'll wait. I will answer another question while I hopefully get that Rap Studios reply. Clay Pigeon, you have a comment? Okay, Clay Pigeon, I'm stuck on your comment about doubt. In my opinion, doubt is the most important feeling we can feel. Doubt is what causes us to wonder whether what we do can be trusted. We are never free of doubt, nor should we be. If we are complete without doubt, we can never hope to change or grow. We believe we know to be absolute and unchanging. That is a very good point, that doubt contributing towards self-reflection and scrutinizing your actions is important. But what about doubt where it leads to inaction, where you're so busy wondering about what could go wrong that you stop to focus on what is? People right now, people are very much in doubt, and a lot of leaders are trying to say, look, I'm confident how things are going to turn out. Give it some time. Inwardly, I bet that they're still feeling afraid, that they're still like, wow, is this going to work out? How's this really going to end? But no, right now people need some surety, and I am in a position to inspire that. That is the most idealized presentation I can offer. So you're right that doubt or questioning was before you. I'd actually argue that what might feel like doubt is actually an excellent form of self-reflection. But doubt on its own, when it's overpowering, I feel that is unhealthy. I hope that makes sense. And I will... Let's see here. Ender Pup. Iron Man suit or Mandalorian armor? You know, I feel like the sensor detection on Iron Man suit is better, so a blind guy with a stick can't hit me from the back. I'd go with Iron Man suit, also because it's more reliable. Though I will admit, I always thought the Mandalorian armor looked pretty cool. Oh, Peter Moore, good to see you, and welcome. Let's see here. Let's Rap Studios. No good whatsoever. Okay, so we're dealing with a villain who is no good whatsoever. And in some ways, that's a lot like what I talked about, not really trying to reach out or understand those who are just... their minds are made up from a place of hatred. There's no point in engaging such a being. At most, I tell them, you're going to lose. Because here's the thing. I'm borrowing from Joseph Campbell when he's talking about tricksters in history, even the devil. The devil, with all his attempts at corruption in scripture or other terms you'd use to describe, fair enough, he may corrupt people. He's the winner in the short term, but he always winds up the loser in the cosmic balance. In the big wide world, he is not going to succeed. And that's true of any evil you see in stories. Even if it seems like they're on the cusp of victory, ultimately they fail. They're always the loser in the long term. And I think there's something to remember in that. Even when someone feels like they're winning, they may be losing before they even realize. Pardon me a moment, I'm just wondering if I ever made a vector pose of Soren walking. I know that's a curious thing to ask, but usually I draw the old boy flying. So I'm just going through my records. Let's see here. Would I battle Queen Chrysalis? Probably not. I mean, one Silver-Quill's never been much of a combatant character. But honestly, I would mess with her. Like, if you could get... Who remembers the Three Amigos and their climactic battle with El Guapo? They really messed with him, and it'd be funny to see Chrysalis defeated by her own tricks. Thank you. Actual saying he walks in the Grand Galloping Gal. He does, but I have not vectored it. Sometimes if I can build off something I've already vectored, that's a help, but not so in this case. So let's just do a little modification of the basic Soren pose, see if that can approximate walking in a good way. Oh, Grootnus. Grootnose? I'm not quite sure how to say that. So, Infinity Gauntlet, what would you do? You know, I wonder if the... Well, first off, I mean, let's assume for a minute that I can actually survive using the Infinity Gauntlet. First thing I think I would do is see if it can bestow knowledge. You have that much power and no knowledge of how it can be properly utilized. If an Infinity Stone can give genuine wisdom about how to best use its power, that's the smart way to go. I mean, it's the dilemma of the three wishes. You could do so much good with those three wishes, but more often than not, the protagonist does not have the slightest clue what to do. Because really, the only way you can have the wisdom is to live a full life. Oh, so maybe that's it. Maybe I use the Infinity Stone to live a life where I make all the screw-ups, but then come back to that moment and then make the right wishes based on what I learned. Whoop. A warning from Sweetie Bloom. The program has not been updating since it crashed. How strange. How frustrating. I appreciate the heads up. Let's see here. What can we do on surgery for this? I'm going to remove Illustrator for a minute and bring it back. But really, Illustrator, I thought we were bros. This is just part of life and technology. You can either get mad about it or you can adapt. There we are. Whoa, but now it's huge. And overlaying everything else. Let's fix that, shall we? Excellent. Well. Now, see, I'm lucky to have folks like Sweetie Bloom who will give me a heads up, as opposed to, say, Sapphire Heartsong, who will troll me with a text. Oh, Sapphy. There we go. Man. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm having to position my Illustrator just so on... What is this darkness covering up part of the Illustrator window? Well, I definitely don't want to overdo the guest banner. How curious. See, darn thing crashes and now I'm redoing the stream. This may be a signal from whatever powers that be that it's time to get to the editing once again. Video editing. But let's give it just another minute. Let's also zoom out. Something about this window feels wrong. Like it's too... Well, first off, it is too big. but it's also requiring me to be too small on my own desktop. Ah, well, we'll figure that out another time. All right, but now I think we're... Let me know if y'all are still having trouble seeing this thing. Alrighty. See, this is just the culmination. Actually, it's funny. There's a very funny video online. If possession happened in 2020, you know, a guy gets possessed by a ghost, and his roommate is reacting like, "Oh, okay, what?" And the ghost is just completely flummoxed. It's like, "Wait, this is a big deal." Yeah, but in 2020, it just feels like another thing, you know? Sorry, and you picked a really bad time to try and take over the mortal world. And so the ghost is like, "Wait, why? What's happening?" He learns all about it. Oh, wow, no, I'll come back in a decade or two. And I just find it hilarious. It's done by the same guy who does the pitch meetings. So, you have a new movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. Oh, I've heard, Lightning Dash. Okay, Milo Murphy. That's the character Weird Al voices, based on Murphy's Law. Oh dear. You know, everyone, I'm sorry. I really wanted to show you the end of creating Pinkie Pie Says Goodnight, but with the crash and now stream needing to go through some revisions, I feel like this is misbehaving too much and it's not as interesting an experience for all of you. And I want this to be fun. So, maybe it's time to take the hint and we'll just... Although it's curious... Nope. It's the same size. I will need to do some checking with what to do with stream. So, let's switch gears for a minute. Gonna just wait for my Premiere to boot up. Make some adaptations there. And then we'll switch over to doing some video editing. I shall have to strive for... finishing the Goodnight, well, tonight, but it'll be after the premiere. Well, even that's not behaving itself. It's not my night, it seems. There you are. And let's change our guest banner while we're at it. Aha! Victory. Now, one thing I like about Premiere more than Illustrator is that it comes with an autosave feature, so even if it does crash, I can find a way around it. Now, for this, I'm gonna cancel music because we're about to hear my melodious voice coming through the speakers as well. Let me just make sure that I've actually got it so the sound is going out. Audio hardware. Would I steal Firebrand's medic suit? No, I would sooner go... Well, I've impersonated the Pyro before. I would definitely do so again. Because, and this is important, if I could do it again, I think I would be the Pyro for sheer physical comedy. He doesn't get to say a lot, so he has to do. I watch some Source Filmmaker and Gary's mod video of TF2 that are quite funny. But the Pyro doesn't feature very often because people can't think of what would be something funny to do. All right. Yokai Wolf Creations asks, what if someone went around stealing small bits of magic from the 3 pony tribes and redistributed them amongst other pony types, essentially turning them all into alicorns? Well, it'd be interesting if that character thought that they were doing everyone a favor, that by redistributing this power, they are, in fact, elevating everyone. But in fact, they're taking away from other people to try and lift others up. In other words, it's very similar to Starlight's philosophy of trying to force equality. You can't make everyone as powerful as Celestia, Luna, and Twilight. So instead, you make everyone else equally weak. So I could see someone doing that thinking they're doing a lot of good when in fact they're doing a lot of harm. So here we go.
In this case, Pinkie has painfully high awareness of Applejack's disastrous creation. And I don't feel depressed because she's able to assert a correction on the terms, showing she has at least some control over the situation.
Over the situation. You know, so I hear me even say that, I'm flashing back to a tour guide. My family was on a tour in Rome, and we had this wonderful driver who deeply loved the history of this. And he said to us, you have to be imagining the situation. And he just said it with such zeal. I think it was a lot of fun. Let's see, Champ, I will do my best to keep answering questions. I didn't ask for questions in advance this time, so I'll make an effort to keep looking over at my second monitor, which is where all the chat stuff resides. Let's see here. In this case, all I really need... Yep, that's all you need for a still frame. That'll express painfully high awareness. Oh, so much awareness. And we'll just start that on the endpoint.
And I don't feel depressed because she's able to assert a correction on the terms, showing she has at least some control over the situation.
Now let's see here. Don't unleash Thunderblast. I will unleash what I choose. Let's see here. All right. MC, the BBF, and everyone. Sweetie is right. I appreciate that folks want their questions answered, but spamming them over and over really doesn't strengthen the chance that I'm going to read them. In fact, it actually is detrimental to the rest of the chat. I'll do my best to answer questions as best as I can, but please don't. If you post a question more than twice, I think you're starting to become overly forceful. But the question is, what if the main six accidentally released an ancient evil alicorn that was imprisoned for 10,000 years? Which would mean this alicorn predates even Celestia and Luna. Here's the thing. There's always the question of why ancient evils are such a thing in fantasy. There's always an ancient evil coming back. And I think it's because for something to survive such a long time, instantly attributes to its challenge. But also, how do you, the modern present protagonist, a la Twilight Sparkle, how do you handle the mistakes of the past to build a better future? That's really what it boils down to. And so here's the thing. For this evil alicorn would basically need a motive like it believed that its way, its past, was better. And Twilight and friends would have to beat it, I think, by tapping into the best aspects of the present, including the unification of the tribes. I'm not against... much like what we've got to witness at the end of the end. Uniquely timed wordplay there. So showing the best. Now, would you... I've also developed something of a stigma about the whole, the good guys are right because they win. You know, we want to see the heroes defeat the protagonists because they're righteous. But here's the thing. Villains would argue in favor of might makes right. That, in other words, because I won, I'm right. Because I won this brawl, my virtues are correct. Also ties into the idea of history is written by the winners. I always like to modify that. History is written by the winners and questioned by their successors. So, if Twilight and Friends just defeated this ancient alicorn, I don't think that would be as meaningful as if they actually got it to let go of its, well, fear of change. Let's see here. Am I Champ to stay wondering if continuity are on good terms right now? Oh, I can never stay mad at continuity. Lightning Dash. Do I watch PTS? Propose to Seals? Pondering Tormenting Satellites? Let's see here. PTS. Playful Turnip Sprout. Let's see. So I'm sorry, I don't really know what PTS stands for.
Now compare that to when she creates strawberry cinnamon cilantro cupcakes.
I'm pleased I could even try to pronounce that. Oh, MC the BBF, please don't make that your last question. I don't mean to discourage you from asking. I will do my best to answer, but have faith that I can scroll backwards in the YouTube chat timeline. That's all. Ah! Oh, I've seen whale sharks less frightening than that. You know, one of these days I'm going to be going through a video backwards and I'm going to hear a secret message and just be like, oh no, it's real. Pokemon the series? Oh, that makes more sense. Jonah, you're right. Whale sharks are harmless, but okay, there's something in humans that we are very much programmed to respond to giant mouths, especially if they might eat us. So a whale shark is indeed as harmless as any giant creature of the sea can be. But the visual still can trigger a very primal fear. Not to mention, I've seen a few art pieces of sea horrors inspired by whale sharks that are much more dangerous. Make Pinkie speak slow? Well, I can do that. I can make her go. Let's see here.
And yet she keeps eating them and admits that she's even given another pony food poisoning.
Let's see here. What happens if I just extend this? Will we get a double motion? Let's see here. Yep, there we go. And frame hold.
In them, it admits that she's even given another pony food poisoning.
All right, let's see here. What is the one character I would never mess with? You know what? Part of me. I guess it's up to everyone if this is a legitimately accurate answer. I don't think I've ever messed with the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I have perhaps set a bad example in some of my videos, but I don't think I've ever truly messed with them. Specifically because they're kids.
One might find it funny, but because that post only so Sticky Kitty can speak for itself, I find it rather troubling.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go with another still frame on this. Frame hold options on the in point. It looks frozen? Let me see here.
This is abysmal.
Okay, so let's. Oh dear, did I close Twitch? I'm just responding to some folks on Twitch. Helsing says, okay, Helsing can see it. Good. Oh, Line Dash, Princess Trixie Sparkle. Although I got to get props for that earlier Pokemon the series. That's good insight on an acronym. Princess Trixie Sparkle. Funny enough, Magpie and Lost invited me to take a look at the series and maybe do a review before they post episode 2, not this weekend, but the next. And I'm going to strive to do that. This might delay Pinkie the Fool by a little bit, but I'm going to try to be swift about it. This week featured MBS Show Podcast, 2 nights of writing up the Transformers My Little Pony crossover review for Equestria Daily, meeting my brother's new dog on Wednesday, starting in on Pinkie Pie Says Goodnight on Thursday night, and now tonight the stream. So I haven't had a lot of time for editing. That will change with this weekend and the coming week, in between my roles at Ciderfest. Although at this point, I fully expect Sweetie Bloom to say, "Gosh darn it, boy, take some time for yourself." Oh. Thaddeus Risher. What are your thoughts on Starlight and Trixie? They're the friendship between the imperfect. In so many ways, Twilight and Friends represent a very idealized friendship when they are achieving the best and bringing out the best in one another. Trixie and Starlight are the opposite end, where they are very flawed characters who perhaps bring out the worst in one another at times, and yet their friendship stays strong. They're a reminder that being friends doesn't mean being perfect. Oh, and I did promise pictures of the pupper to the Sweetie Bloom. Actually, I have a picture of the pupper to share. Well, but I already shared it on Twitter. I will share more with you after the stream. Yes.
Similar things that show dangerous awareness include her damage with the Uvitophone.
Ah, the Uvitophone. What was that? Yakety sax. Wow, how instantly. Wow, it looks like she's about to suffer a conniption right there.
Similar scenes that show dangerous low awareness include her
Nope. Crossfade comes in too soon.
damage with the Uvitophone.
Sometimes you... Well, actually, maybe... Let's see how this works. I'm going to make this 90% its speed, so... Nope, not enough. Let's make it 85%. The idea here is to slow it down just enough.
Similar scenes that show dangerous low awareness include her damage with the Uvitophone.
There we go. That way, I slow it down. No crossfade, but it's also not a still image. Ah, Villain Project K Deku. How are you doing? Well, again, I appreciate when folks just ask that. It's a... You know, it's stunning how rarely people can ask that. I know some of my best friends by the fact that they ask such things. I'm doing well. It's been an exhaustive week, but I don't know. These streams actually make me feel good, even when even when I lose some work to a crash. I don't feel bad.
And continue intrusions into Mod and Starlight's bonding.
Mod and Starlight's bonding. Let's see here. Spice up your life. What? Not the Mod couple. That was later. Pinkie Pride. Too soon. Reveal and Finder. I've got to find that clip. It was in season 6, or it was in season 7, wasn't it? Perfect pair, Discord and Harmony, Ask for Trouble, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Dare and do. I did not lie to you, Sweetie Bloom. It was directly in reply to a tweet you gave in reply to Mad Munchkin's tweet. Phooey. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember the episode where Maud moves to Ponyville. And I'm trying to remember... Parental Guidance Forever, Fluttershy Leans In, Rock Solid... Rock Solid Friendship. There we are. It's like... You know the episode, but then the title and the wonderful puns. Yep. This is a good place for an intrusion. Here we go. Oh, if Starlight lost a kite because of Pinkie, that might be a vendetta. Haha, now I'm making Sweetie recheck her Twitter feed. Haha, I have succeeded somehow. Also, I'm apparently showing Starlight's plot on screen. How dare.
Like any fool, Pinkie can be blinded by her own enthusiasm.
Blinded by her own enthusiasm. I think that, best night ever. Or best night. End it right there.
Like any fool, Pinkie can be blinded by her own enthusiasm. Like any fool, Pinkie...
What is that? You ever notice when your voice just does something weird, like you're coming off a word and you stutter somehow?
Pinkie can be blinded by her own enthusiasm.
All right.
And in that blindness, there is a risk of causing others emotional, even physical harm.
Let's see. Emotional or physical harm? When did... Well, no, I don't want it to be too many Pinkie Pies because that was the clones. Oh, there we go. Yeah, back when Spike... That was really when Spike abuse stopped being funny for me.
And in that blindness, there is a risk of causing others emotional, even physical harm.
Though I will admit that that catapult is kind of funny. Let's see here. Thrown right at her head. Oh my. What was my favorite part of being with the TF2 series? Favorite part? I think it was when we got to see people reacting live at conventions to an episode. You get to hear the audience laughter and see how much they're enjoying it. That's true. Well, but in truth, that's true of when I show my own clips at conventions. I like seeing people react and have to know my work has a positive impact. Enderpup, we had no such hats. There was Jasper's fez, and that was about it. Honestly, I figure that one way to get Vector Brony to have a nervous breakdown is say, oh yeah, can you make 50 hat variants for all the character poses?
The Yavidaphone was particularly frustrating because it was the one time a material possession seemed to take priority over her friends.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, this is a scene where it's really hard to celebrate Pinkie. Good. Bad music, and she's destroying the Apple family product. Though she's probably saving them a fortune on applesauce prep.
The Yavidaphone was particularly frustrating because it was the one time a material possession seemed to take priority over her friends.
Okay, we got the bounce scene, but now I need to slide this again so that it is...
Material possession seemed to take priority over her friends.
And that's a good freeze frame right there. I mean, that is her secondary family, so to speak. Preston, I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. But that leads into Ali Penner's question, what video games do I like to play? I used to be big into RPGs, especially JRPGs, but after a while I started to get frustrated by how vague everyone was. So you're one of them. Them who? Could you give some context, please? But no, these days first-person shooters are my enjoyment because often you can jump into them very quickly. I have less time for gaming, and so it's good to have something I can jump into and put down rather easily.
Yeah, she never touched that thing again for the rest of the series.
Alrighty. She never touched the thing again. Ah, Christina G. Oh dear, am I going to mispronounce this? Giannin. Christina Jenin, what do you enjoy most about making your videos? I really love it when when I'm nearing the end and suddenly I look back at everything I put together and I realize it's all building, it's all concentrating into this one product. That all that work is finding fruition. It's a very rewarding feeling. It's also a moment to heave a sigh of relief and then think, oh boy, I'm tired.
And I hear you say, Silver, you pontificating puffin. What about her fixation with sweets? And I hear you say, Silver.
Let's see here. First off, let's change up that pose. Silver, I need my haughty pose. Yes, I'm so haughty. I'm so proud. Yes, quite. Ripley's clip from the source monitor. And now is me. So I greatly enjoy that. I think I mentioned last stream, my two least favorite aspects are recording the voiceover and laying it out, as I spend a lot of time with my own voice, which can actually feel a little detrimental. Let's see here. Enderpup with my first-person shooters. World War I or II first-person shooters. I mean, war... You know, seeing a lot of the controversy around more recent Call of Duties, especially as they went back to World War II, but took very heavy creative license with the history. And also perhaps that it's simultaneously glorifying a phase that isn't really enjoyable. I usually go more for the science fiction shooters. I guess I've played more World War II, but that's because it's been much more prominent in the franchise or in the genre.
And I hear you say, Silver, you pontificating puffin. What about her fixation with sweets?
Let's see here. Her fixation with sweets, that was definitely in Bird in the Hoof. No, wait, it was Swarm of the Century. Yes.
And I hear you say, Silver, you pontificating puffin. What about her fixation with sweets? Is that not realistic as well? In a sense, it is.
Let's see here. What's another sweets that she really enjoyed?
In a sense, it is, but while the identifier was her own personal idol.
Let's see here. I guess I can extend it a little more. How long is this clip now? You know, I still don't know how long the clip has to be. I'm told that 8 seconds is like where copyright might get involved, and that clip is 7 seconds and 26 frames. Feeling Pinkie keen. Oh, Hoofy and Brony, are you asking about feeling Pinkie keen for causing physical or emotional damage? Because the thing is, Pinkie didn't cause Twilight any damage. She just was aware that damage was going to happen. If anything, I was more like, at the start, she was like, are you okay? And by the end, she's just sort of rolling with it. It's like Pinkie knew Karma had it out for Twilight somehow. Helsing Ghost. Technical question. Do you prefer a mouse over a drawing tablet? When I'm editing, I've come to rely on a mouse more. When I'm drawing, sometimes it's a mouse, but sometimes it's a drawing tablet. Depends on what it is I'm doing. Oftentimes I feel like, especially in building backgrounds, it's like architecture. So I rely on a mouse, which I feel is more precise. But when I have to do a bunch of motions, then I enjoy a tablet and stylus. When I worked at a video production TV station, at first I put with a mouse, but I saw everyone else using a template and stylus. And I realized that the styluses they were using mimicked the size of the entire screen. I, however, do not have the room or perhaps the finances to buy a tablet that big, which might explain an entry on my Christmas list. Oh, Coda Cat 9. Appreciate the compliment on my video about Gilda and Griffinstone. And thanks for the memories. I'm glad people enjoy that. How many bounties do I have in Equestria? I stopped counting after we got into the triple digits.
But while the identifier was her own personal idol.
Now, Catwoman. Preston wondering if I like Catwoman. Funny thing is, I've never been a big Catwoman fan. I understand her appeal and sort of the duality she inspires in Batman, and sort of that anti-hero. But so often she reverts to this kleptomania. It's hard to really celebrate her. I just realized in this scene they're using the push from Jaws.
And none of us want you to waste your time on something you can't do well.
Oh, that gives me a whole new appreciation. Seth, how do I come up with my bird phrases in my videos? Basically, first thing I do is I go to a list of bird genuses, and I try to find one I haven't talked about before. Then it's a case of either what is it, alliteration or no, not enunciation. What is it when you're emphasizing the same vowel at the start of each word? It's alliteration and it's giving me just consternation. Well, either way, I look for that wordplay. So it just involves a little bit of searching. It plays out the idea that I have like 50 bajillion bird genuses as part of my character's look.
But while the Avidifon was her own personal idol, her fixation with sugar speaks to another of the fool's darker aspects.
Let's see here. Would Pinkie team up with the Joker? At first, maybe, because she would think he was a clown and doing this to have fun. But she would very quickly wake up to the fact that he's trying to hurt others. And so she would quickly turn on him, but maybe too late for him to before he sprung a trap. What are my nicknames for the main six? Actually, that's funny. This is asked by Villain Project K Deku. Oh, Trinary, good one. Crazy Kookaburra. I might have to go with that Kookaburra laugh while I'm at it. Let's see here. What would my nicknames be for... Well, in envisioning Clutterstep, I had him actually come up with nicknames for the main six as sort of a sign of how much he values them, especially Twilight. So Twilight becomes Spark. Twilight Sparkle. Applejack just becomes Jack. Rainbow, Bow. Clutter may not have the greatest imagination, but he gives sort of affectionate by abbreviations. I guess Pinkie would actually be more interesting as Double... Well, no, Double P sounds juvenile. Gosh. I mean, Fluttershy as Shy just makes sense. But I didn't really think about nicknames for Pinkie and Rarity.
Her fixation with sugar speaks to another of the fool's darker aspects, addiction.
Let's see here. Where else has Pinkie enjoyed tremendous amounts of baked sweets and goods? Let's see here. Ticketmaster, I know she... Let's see here. Nope. Okay, that actually works. I mean, it doesn't look terribly addictive, but
Fixation with...
But it works. There we go.
Her fixation with sugar speaks to another of the fool's darker aspects, addiction.
Giant pudding and best gift ever. Oh yes, I haven't really shown much of the best gift ever yet. Oh, but we're getting there. We're getting down. I'm more than halfway there. So I appreciate. I know I haven't worked on a Patreon fulfillment in like 2 weeks, but I appreciate folks sticking with me. There's only so much I can get done in a given time. PK for Pinkie. Coda Cat 9, that's a good suggestion. I wonder if just Pink, would Pink be a decent affectionate? Hey, Pink.
This is an example of the fool's passive shadow, which I call the addict.
Well, let's see here. Let's actually go with that. Let's see what best gift ever, because I got that. Okay, what is it with me tonight and just getting to see zoom-ins on Pinkie? This is, of all the themes I would have this evening, that is not one I expected. Let's see here. Nope. Where's the giant pudding? It's been a while since I've gone to see this. Although we are approaching Christmas time after my birthday. So let's see. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Try it.
Okay. Just want to focus on this for a minute. Giggling Maud. Oh, well, okay, not Maud, a Marble. Giggling Marble, happy Marble. I feel good now. Jack, okay, Lightning Dash's nicknames. Egghead, Jack, Crash, Pink One, Butterhorse, and Rare. Oh, Zara Tiemann, hello over on Twitch. Good to see you. Let's see here. Let's see here. Where does she... Man, I can't remember where Pinkie devours lots of pudding. Lots of smashing. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, 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 blah. Scrolling. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Eat. Ah, she didn't eat it. Ah, curses. Let's see here. Razor8191. How would you go about trying to explain to a friend that you enjoy something like My Little Pony? I'm asking as a newer fan who's really self-conscious. Razor, what I would propose is that you don't try to explain what it is about Pony, but rather what you enjoy. Do you enjoy musicals? Do you enjoy fun animation or characters with whom you feel a connection? Once you establish that, the name of the show is almost an afterthought. People will hopefully understand what it is that appeals to you in storytelling in general. And then they'll be like, oh, that show has all that stuff? Yeah. Let's see here. And what would I nickname Jasper Pie? Moving target. Let's see here. All right, so I'm afraid my memory of best gift ever is being a little shaky. Is Pinkie she got devoured by pudding, but did she devour it? Oh, I know. Friend indeed. Friend. There is that cake moment where she eats her own silhouette. Yada, yada, yada. Come on now. There we go.
This is an example of the fool's passive shadow, which I call the addict.
The addict. There we go.
In seeking enjoyment in the moment, an addict looks to consume any source of pleasure.
Let's see here. So in addition to push-in zooms on Pinkie Pie, I also need apparently to see copious amounts of candy. Wonderbolt Academy, games ponies play. She didn't really eat a lot of that. Dragon Shy, Swarm of the Century, Sonic Green Boom. Where else did she do a lot of eating? Okay, Preston, Pinkie burns enough energy that I'm pretty sure she's just so hyper she burns off all the sugar she eats. I'm insanely jealous of this ability. Alrighty. Let's see here. Now, I'm just trying to think, where else does she go really over the top in terms of eating sweets? Simple Ways. Mod Couple. What? Oh yeah, what did someone mentioned? Do princesses dream of magic sheep? And I know that she had a dream where she was just jumping through dreams. But was there a scene where she was eating lots and lots of candy? Yada yada. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, hello. Yep. If my desserts tried to kill me, I would probably be upset too. Uh-oh. Is my mouse low now?
An addict looks to consume any source of pleasure, heedless
Let's see here.
of consequence.
Heedless of consequence. Does she try to eat the evil cakes? Yeah, that seems like a decent consequence. Seth, prank calling Jasper, I actually have a bit, but it's part of a larger project that, unfortunately, I delayed with my usual lack of recording a VO in a timely manner, and now I think I need to take more responsibility for it to see if I want to see it done. So it's in the works, but I need to get back in the game on that one. Every little thing she does, Trinary. Let's take a look. Honestly, I don't think I have that one yet. Every little thing she does is magic. If I sing, I get a copyright claim. Every little thing she does. Let's take a gander. Ah, Rafael Castro R. Hello. I hope you're doing well this evening. Ah, Drinking Buddy is back. Turn from the Nightmare Night where we talk about rituals, sacrifice, and being devoured alive. Ah, typical Thursday. Was it a fun panel? Pardon me as I talk while I wait for a reply.
I think that personal health would involve slaying the shadow, but one aspect of recognizing the addict's influence is that we can find both the strength and focus to break an addiction.
Alrighty, this time I will do too many Pinkie Pies. A dark and devious delight, says Clay Pigeon 310. I'm curious who hosted this panel. Well, Preston, the rainbow does not like pies. But Pinkie, she never ate the pies because she just didn't want to. And I can understand that. There's certain things that I don't like to eat. Ricotta cheese, I can never get used to the texture.
One might think that personal health would involve...
Too many Pinkie Pies. Where are you hiding? There you are. Let's see. Is there... Let's see here. Is there anyone where is she eating at all in this episode? As this is very big on... Okay, there we go, go. Nope. Oddly enough, she doesn't eat anything in this episode that is all about her vices. Let's see here. Ah, Fiara. Fiara hosted it. Oh, dang it, that means I missed another Fiara panel. I'm bad at this. I will hope that it was recorded. For posterity. Though it's funny, I mostly know her to take the scientific approach. This sounds more historical. Let's see here. That's a Wrap Studios. Would you do a Poker Night parody with Elliot as Max, you as Heavy, Bronny as Strong Bad? A Poker Night parody as Tycho Bray. Man, I know Strong Bad and Heavy. Is that Max of Sam and Max? I got to look up a few of these. It's an interesting idea, but I've never really tried to do a poker night. Let's see here. Nope. Slaying the Shadow. Let's just see how this looks.
One might think that personal health would involve slaying this shadow, but one aspect of recognizing the influence is that we can find both the strength and focus to break an addiction.
Okay, let's have Pinkie moping. Yes.
That one's the real Pinkie. Please.
There we go. Yes, video game poker night. I think I've seen one or two clips of that, mostly involving Claptrap as I was in a Borderlands mood. But I think I need to watch more. Excellent. Thank you, Clay Pigeon, for letting me know if you are recorded. I shall have to scope that out. I'm curious.
Mental health isn't about destroying aspects of yourself. It's taking the unconscious influences and bringing them into the light of awareness.
Okay, taking the unconscious and bringing it into awareness. Where has Pinkie been in darkness and emerged into light? I mean, she's... that doesn't quite work. Oh, but this might. Yeah, this might work.
Mental health isn't about destroying aspects of yourself. It's taking the unconscious influences.
Okay.
It's taking the unconscious influences and bringing them into the light of awareness. Because once we're aware of these negative...
Okay, taking the unconscious and bringing it into awareness. Well, goodness knows Pinkie's done a lot of unconscious actions. Let's see here. Trinary, you're right about the Smile song, but I'm using that in another spot, so I don't want to use that. It's like using your best ammo too soon. Let's see here. Attack a Pink. She pulls pretty in pink some days. Yep. No, let's try. Shall we try again? Let's see here. Love Jim Carrey Eggman. Let's see here. Run for the hills. Rock solid friendship, secrets and pies. Oh, what if? Oh, does she suffer a moment of? Let's see if there's another moment of dark revelation here. Oh, hang on. This might be... Yeah, why not? Maybe this will work. Nope. Too little.
It's taking the unconscious influences and bringing them into the light of awareness.
Well, almost there. Now I just need unconscious influences. Oh, hey, Cruiser. Yeah, probably was. Run for the hills, run for your life. Lightning Dash asking, do I watch Try Dashy? I can't say I do. I don't think I know what that is. Mystery on the Friendship Express, Tricky Buddy. Let's take a look. I think I have that one. Lunar Eclipse. Huh, no, I haven't done that one yet. Let's grab that real quick. MMM. Makes it easy to search for, that's for sure. Preston, in Secrets and Pies, Pinkie is on investigation, so she once again dons her Sherlock Holmes pony hat.
Competition? But it makes no sense. What do you mean? Well, first, if you were tied to the train tracks, how are you now here? Pretty flying your rocks back here, so the gas no visitor.
Okay, this might actually be kind of funny. Okay, let's try this.
Mental health isn't about destroying aspects of yourself. It's taking the unconscious influences and bringing them into the light of awareness. Because...
Okay, I think that works. Tricky Betty, thank you for the Friendship Express suggestion. That's excellent. Inquisitor is wondering what the reason is for my earlier in this same video. Why am I dressed as... well, I was going for a Horus look, but Abaddon the Despoiler was also an influence. Why am I dressed as Chaos? Basically, I wanted to present Silver as just gone completely over to the dark side, just the most evil he could be, and he is immediately defeated by, well, Pinkie and her style. It's meant to emphasize a point. So and of course, I have to dial everything to 11. So I just went full on Bizarro Quill.
Because once we're aware of these negative influences, we can tap into their strengths while avoiding the self-destructive aspects. Pinkie...
And that's when I go back to Too Many Pinkie Pies. Yes, that moment of happiness, that revelation. Preston, I won't be using you Pinkie prompts because that's a different aspect.
Because once we're aware of these negative influences, we can tap into their strengths while avoiding the self-destructive aspects. Pinkie did this back in Too Many Pinkie Pies. This back in Too Many Pinkie Pies.
All right, if I can beg everyone's patience for another few minutes, I just want to try and get to... Well, this is the last big block before I get to the ending. That would be well. Oh, Ace Analyst, good to see you. Master Code, Ace Analyst. Oh, everybody's hunting me now.
That whole mess started with Pinkie focusing so much on having fun and avoiding the fool's eternal opponent, boredom.
Let's see here. This is not necessarily a theory on Pinkie's her Pinkie Pie-ness. More, it's how she reflects a very human quality in the Fool archetype. Ooh, twitchy.
Yet by recognizing her own addictive nature, she was able to power through and succeed where every impulse-driven imposter failed.
Let's see here. There we go.
She was able to power through and succeed where every impulse-driven imposter failed.
Let's see here. Impulse-driven imposter failing. Yeah, that's... Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't throw in more. Hey, do you see this thing? Oh, a thing? Where? Ah, yes, green isn't your color. That's another good suggestion.
some pretty big nightmare fuel. And gave us some pretty pink nightmare fuel.
Let's see here. First off, I got to trim this down. Here we go.
And gave us some pretty pink nightmare fuel. The aggressive shadow of the Fool is often called Trickster, a form well represented by Discord.
Okay, I think that's a good stopping point because I'm about to get to talking about Discord and that can go on for another hour. Oh my goodness. Oh, but good. We've made progress. Ever forward, even in increments. Let's see here. Oh, Cosmic Tale, a reboot? What are folks talking about with a reboot? In Cosmic Trail, I'm not sure I'm picking up on the reboot I was talking about. Well, let's see here. Villain Project K Deku. I guess this is this will be part of the streaming channel that was part of my art. It'll be under the thumbnail of Pinkie Pie Says Goodnight Returns, but whoops. Don't worry, that wasn't me losing yet another stack of work. That was just me closing it. Closing the timeline. Here we go. Cancel. There we are. Oh, my goodness. Welcome, Lightning Bliss. I'm afraid that, yes, I am close to wrapping up. I've been going for about 2 hours, and I feel like I've taxed everyone's patience at this point. So, but it's been fun, and I'm grateful for all the folks who chime in. So, before we sign off, are there any last-minute questions? And no, Lightning Bliss, you are not the worst. Not by a long shot. We are big fans of the Blissy Boo. That said, I will probably have to condemn you with several shipping jokes as a result. Also, I'm seeing people react just to Lightning Bliss in the chat. Blissy Senpai! Bliss! Ah! Queen of the Rainbow! Anyway. Alright, so Helsing, you have a wonderful night as well, and I hope everybody... It's been a long week. It's been a tense one. I hope folks will tune in tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern Time. That's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll be part of Equestria's Next Top Artist, where I will get to show you my skills of an artist. And then at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, so Sunday morning, Saturday late night, I'll be part of a Jacksbox After Dark, both of which taking part in as part of Riff Ponies. So, and what has been Silver-Quill's worst injury, Prism Shard? Surely the damage to his own pride whenever he screws up. That'll always be the worst. Oh dear. Actual's correcting me. It was Blissy Sensei, not Blissy Senpai. Well, either way, she's got folks wanting to glump her. Glump, glump, glump. So, well, that's a wrap. I would consider doing a poker night, but I'd need to watch some of the recordings so I could actually do it justice. But I don't have any plans at the moment. Anyway, and yes, before Master Code starts picturing Silver-Quill After Dark, I will wish you all a restful and happy weekend. And as tough as things been, I still have hope for the future. And I hope people will continue to act on that hope, that not just sit and wait, but we act in hope. So, have a great night, and I will catch you all again.